The Walking Dead Season 1 was dark, raw, and unforgettable. But did you know that most of it was filmed in real places you can still visit today? Let's go through the most iconic locations from Season 1, scene by scene. Let's kick things off with the very first scene. Rick wakes up from a coma in an empty hospital. This chilling sequence, from the flickering hallway lights to the iconic "Don't open, dead inside" doors, was filmed inside a real abandoned building, which had the perfect look for a deserted hospital. The loading dock scene where Rick exits into sunlight and sees the covered bodies was filmed behind this same building, located on Bolton Road in Atlanta, provided the perfect atmosphere for TWD's terrifying introduction to the apocalypse. Although later used as administrative offices by Atlanta Mission, the building has since been demolished. After leaving the hospital, Rick takes his first steps into a changed world. He wanders through a quiet street until he sees her, a woman, torn in half, crawling across the grass. It's the first walker he ever sees, later known to fans as Bicycle Girl. This scene was filmed near the corner of Park Avenue Southeast and Burns Street Southeast in Atlanta. As you can see on Google Street View, it looks pretty peaceful nowadays. After meeting Bicycle Girl, Rick somehow makes it home. The house is still standing, the door's unlocked. He steps inside. Everything looks strangely normal. He's calling out for Lori and Carl. No answer. No signs of struggle, no blood, just absence. Shaken, he walks back outside, and that's when he's suddenly struck down by a stranger. This scene was filmed at 817 Cherokee Avenue Southeast Atlanta, a real home in a residential neighborhood near Grant Park. The house is on private property, so it's not open to the public, but it remains a recognizable spot for dedicated fans. After leaving his house and gathering his gear, Rick finds a quiet farm. He looks around, taking in the silence, until he spots a lone horse. Cautiously, he approaches and gains its trust. Moments later, he rides off, heading toward the unknown on horseback. This scene was filmed on private farmland near to 4399 Maddox Street, Mansfield, near Atlanta. You can drive by the area, but keep in mind it might be private property. After finding the horse on a quiet farm, Rick sets out for downtown Atlanta, alone and on horseback. He follows the highway into the city, past miles of abandoned cars and silence. Then, we see it, Rick riding down an empty road, the Atlanta skyline rising in front of him. It's one of the most iconic shots in the entire series. The scene takes place on John Lewis Freedom Parkway Northeast, with the Jackson Street Bridge clearly visible ahead, leading into downtown Atlanta. The view is nearly identical today, though the freight train next to the highway was added by the crew and doesn't exist in real life. But Atlanta isn't the safe haven Rick hoped for. The city is overrun. The streets are crawling with walkers. Surrounded by walkers and running out of options, Rick abandons his horse and crawls under a tank for cover. The tank becomes a metal tomb, a place of momentary safety and unbearable silence. This scene was filmed at the intersection of Forsyth St. Northwest and Walton St. Northwest in downtown Atlanta. You can visit this spot today, and while there's no tank, the layout looks almost exactly the same. After escaping the tank, Rick joins a group of survivors hiding in a department store. Among them is Merle Dixon. Loud, dangerous, and out of control. Tensions flare on the rooftop, and Rick ends up handcuffing Merle to a pipe. In the end, the group is forced to leave Merle behind as they escape the city. This scene was filmed at 125 Ted Turner Dr. Southwest, Atlanta, on the rooftop of a building just a few blocks from the tank scene. The rooftop might not be accessible, but fans still visit the area to check it out from street level. After escaping the chaos downtown and leaving Merle behind, Rick and the group make it out of the city. After they reach the camp, Rick finally finds Lori and Carl. They're alive, safe. It's a quiet, emotional reunion after days of fear, doubt, and searching. This scene was filmed at Bellwood Quarry, now part of Westside Park. The camp itself was temporary, but the dramatic setting is still there and open to the public. Rick, Glenn, T-Dog, and Daryl return to Atlanta to recover the bag of guns Rick dropped by the tank. But things go sideways. Glenn is captured by a group calling themselves the Vatos. To get him back, they take one of the Vatos hostage and arrange a tense exchange. What starts as a potential bloodbath turns into something unexpected. The gang is actually protecting a group of elderly residents in an abandoned nursing home. Filmed at 1200 Foster Street Northwest in Atlanta. This spot is now part of a fenced-off industrial area, and might not be publicly accessible. After a devastating walker attack at the Quarry camp, the survivors have no choice but to leave. Tired, desperate, and running low on hope, they follow Rick, heading toward the CDC, the last place that might still hold answers. When they arrive, the building seems abandoned until the door suddenly opens. Inside, they meet Dr. Edwin Jenner, who has been surviving alone and researching the outbreak. This sequence was filmed at the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center in Atlanta. While the interior scenes were recreated on a set, the exterior of the building remains recognizable today. From quiet suburbs to the heart of downtown Atlanta, every location helped bring this post-apocalyptic world to life. And the best part? Many of these places are real and still standing. If you're a fan, you can walk the same roads, stand on the same bridge, and relive the story where it all began. Let me know in the comments which season 1 scene stuck with you the most. And would you visit any of these places? If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and visit movieslocations.com for more filming spots from The Walking Dead and beyond. More filming locations from later seasons coming soon.